Hi guys, and welcome to another one of my videos, and today I'm doing a review of Avengers Children's Crusade. Now, this is a 9-issue storyline that went on from 2010 to 2011, I believe, and it basically chronicles the Young Avengers going in search of the Scarlet Witch, who disappeared after the events of House of M and Decimation. For those of you who haven't been following up on your Marvel stories and such, House of M was a event where the Scarlet Witch basically lost her mind and created this perfect world where everyone's deepest desires were fulfilled, and it was ruled by her family, the Maximovs. And after the X-Men and the Avengers got their memories back of the old world, they tried to take her down, basically kill her, and she uttered 3 words that were no more mutants, and this depowered 90% of the mutant population. So mutants went from being the new dominant species on Earth to being a very small minority on the entire planet. I mean, their numbers went from millions and millions to a scant 200, I believe, in the entire world. So, the Scarlet Witch is definitely a controversial character, both in our world and in the Marvel Universe. And the reason why the Young Avengers are trying to find her is because um, before she lost her mind, her children were killed, and Viking and Speed, who are both members of the Young Avengers, are sort of reincarnations of the children she lost, because Viking is extremely a powerful sorcerer, like Scarlet Witch is, while Speed, his brother, has almost the exact same attitude as Scarlet Witch's brother, Quicksilver. So, after Magneto himself comes to the team and tells them that I also want to find my daughter, because if the Avengers find her, they're probably gonna kill her. Wolverine's gonna kill her, and the X-Men are gonna kill her. But so basically, they go to Latveria, and they discover that Scarlet Witch has lost all of her memory, and that she is supposed to be getting married to Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom is actually very sincere to Viking, who goes in alone in Doom's castle to find her. Doom is actually very sincere. He actually says that I didn't expect that I could love someone like her, and I want to protect her from the Avengers and the X-Men, because he also knows that if Captain America or Wolverine or Cyclops found out that Scarlet Witch was in that Latveria, they would kill her immediately. They would launch a full-scale invasion of the country. But just the fact that Magneto and the Young Avengers are there causes a whole shitstorm. Pretty much, the Avengers get involved, and as things progress, at the end, the X-Men get involved, and this leads to the death of Structure and Division. This whole thing is the grand return of the X-Men in the Marvel Universe, because ever since House of M, the X-Men have been completely out of whack with the rest of the Marvel Universe. They have always been doing their own thing since they've been completely disjointed from the Marvel Universe. A few examples of this are in Civil War. I think Iron Man goes to Emma Frost and tells her, do you want to join up with us? And she tells him, no, and I think you should better leave before a certain blue star-spangled friend of yours comes around to ask us. So the X-Men were neutral in Civil War. They were neutral in Fear itself, as far as I can tell. They didn't do anything during Spider Island or Secret Invasion or pretty much anything. So this is the first time in around 6 or 7 years that the X-Men have finally sort of reunited with the Marvel Universe after being completely out of whack with it for so long. And this is actually an incredible story about a son who's looking for his real mother. It's a classic story of a kid who's adopted. He wants to find his real mom, and but he's being stopped by outside forces, because his mother, like I said, is an extremely controversial figure in the Marvel Universe, and even Wolverine constantly tells the rest of the Avengers, "I'm gonna kill her, and the second I see her, I'm gonna gut her like a goddamn pig." That's basically what he keeps talking about through this whole story arc. And this book is a setup book for Avengers versus X-Men, because here the Avengers and the X-Men actually fight each other, and this leads to the death of several key members, and it disbands the Young Avengers for a good while. So this is one of the setup books for Avengers vs. X-Men, and I thought it would be appropriate to review this because it is a somewhat important storyline, and as the storyline progresses, the Scarlet Witch basically gets her powers back, and Viking and Doom all try to restore the mutants' powers, but Iron Patriot doesn't trust Doom and Scarlet Witch, so um he basically fucks up the ritual, and this basically leaves the mutants where they were. They're all depowered still, and nothing has changed. And since Scarlet Witch has lost her power to alter reality, she can basically no longer give the mutants back their powers because she's lost everything. And this is a very complicated situation for Scarlet Witch and for everybody. The Young Avengers get disbanded at the end of the storyline, but they come back together when Captain America names them full-fledged Avengers. But Scarlet Witch, she actually becomes a superhero so that she can make people trust her again. She wants to get the trust of people back. But I want to say one thing. Cyclops is a complete asshole in this issue, and he has become a complete asshole in everything that I've seen him. I have never really cared for Cyclops because I've always seen him as the Superman of the Marvel Universe, the goody two-shoes, the Boy Scout, and so on. But now I just love to hate him. He is one of those douchebags that you just love to hate. He is the Joffrey of the Marvel Universe. He's that little asshole douchebag you want to hate, and you love hating him. But besides that, I have to say this is definitely one of Marvel's better stories, but some of that whole... when they started talking about parallel worlds and magical dimensions and stuff, that kind of stuff annoyed the hell out of me. And then when a giant Doctor Doom with god powers showed up out of nowhere, I was like, what the fuck is happening in here? I just couldn't believe that there was a giant white-colored Doom fighting the Avengers and the X-Men and Scarlet Witch, and then they just beat him in like 2 seconds. It just doesn't make sense. I hate it when this parallel world stuff gets thrown in there for no good reason. And also, if you haven't been reading the Young Avengers like I have, you will be completely lost. This book does a poor job of introducing you to the characters. It is a very, very bad job. There is a panel in the first issue with where Iron Man tells the team the whole history behind House of M and Decimation, but the personal history of the Young Avengers is completely lost, and it is extremely hard to understand who is this Iron Lad dude, and I just didn't understand these things. I did get emotionally tied to some characters, but when Structure and Vision died, I was like, I didn't care. Honestly, I didn't care. But the art through the whole arc is very good. It fits in with the storyline appropriately. It does get a little too busy sometimes. Some panels, they try to cram in as much detail as they can, but in the end, the whole quality suffers for it. But this definitely won't be remembered as one of Marvel's better storylines. But as a setup book for Avengers vs. X-Men and a continuation of the story from House of M and Decimation, this is definitely a great book. This is a book that I can This is a book that I can recommend to Avengers fans, Young Avengers fans, and even X-Men fans, or even Fantastic Four fans. So this book has a very large target base, and if you're a fan of any of those superhero teams, you will enjoy the hell out of this book. But still, the art style is very good, but it gets too busy sometimes, and it can hurt the overall quality when he focuses too much on one character and leaves the other character like barely drawn or something. The storyline is very good, but if you haven't been following up on Young Avengers or most of the Marvel storylines that happened before, you will be completely and utterly lost as to what is going on. So for all this stuff, I have to give Avengers versus I have to give Avengers: The Children's Crusade a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It is a very good miniseries, but it does have a big issue for new readers since it doesn't explain the backstory of all these events too well, or the backstory of its individual members, and the art style. Like I said, it can be a bit too busy at times. It can focus too much on one character and not enough on another. But anyway, 3.5 out of 5 stars is still pretty good on my scale, so I still recommend for you guys to at least check it out, because it is a good series and it will get you pumped up for Avengers vs. X-Men like it did for me. So that's pretty much it for me, guys. I'm out, and see you later.